pocket bounce. Let's have a look at that. To take out the highs for another rejection cleanly off that inner trend line that I had from last week. Let's see where we are above this fib level. No, not that one. This one, no, not that one, maybe that one. So we tried to reclaim this golden pocket, lost it, trying to reclaim it, losing it. Oh, this golden pocket backtest is washing, so not really relevant. All right, just hide these trend lines for a second, and I'm going to have a look at the candles. Bullish engulfing, bullish engulfing. We got a couple of bullish engulfings there. Let's have a look at the 3-day chart. Okay, the weekly. Let's have a look at that weekly candle actually. Just closed underneath the 50% mark. Yes. Still not looking as strong as it could. Monthly's gone up. How much has the monthly gone up by? Touched. Almost touched the 236. We're going to get a continuation dump. It's possible. Like this. When was that? That was in January. December, January. Clear the liquidity. Take out the lows. It's possible. Last 2 months, the volume has actually been decreasing. You see that? So you got a drop in prices, reducing volume. Okay. So the 6-month candle, 12-month. Okay. Let's have a look at the volume. Volume, volume, volume. Where are you? There you go. Volume. Can update the volume levels now. Trying to get back into the value area low. Trying to get back into the value area. Couldn't hit the golden, the point of control. Nice bounce off this high volume nodes just below us there. Let's have a look at the levels as well quickly while we're here. That weekly level has been cleared of liquidity. We've got a few daily levels here. Oh my God. What's going on? That's better. Yeah, that was tapped. There's one there. Got a little bit of a harmonic forming here as well. that SP was cleared. You see that? We probably have SPs on the way up, so let's just have a look at the order flow. You can see some big shorts entering here. Quite big, quite large shorts, and increasing OI 10 million. Look at that. So we are getting bullish CVD divergence across this whole range. You can see that the CVD's gone lower here. The price is higher. So across the range, there is CVD bullish absorption. But locally, it's not looking bullish at all. Locally, it's not. Some shorts are entering. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's zoom out a bit. Let's just mark these single prints. So we're coming into these single prints now. Let me just mark them out. 87593 through to 90188. I'm gonna mark that on the chart. Don't know why my social stream is double texting. So annoying. I've been trying to fix it and I can't fix it. All right, let me just mark out these single prints. Eight, 7, 5, 9, 3. Two, 90188. All right. So we're coming back to the top of the single prints here. Now, if the price finds acceptance in the single prints will fill, and this gap will fill very quickly. So if the price manages to find acceptance, it will drop to this lower part here. That's definitely going to happen. If there's acceptance, or you have to find support here. The price doesn't just find support of single prints just like that. You need confluence. Got the 382 there. Nothing much to go by. So let's get that trend line back in. Trend line. So what I was saying last Friday is that we need to break this trend line. If you want to know that this kind of downtrend is over, we need to break it. We need a back test. We need some kind of confirmation. And at the moment, we're not getting it. Getting a nice bounce. Swing failure of the highs. Shorts are entering. Can the price find support here? Yeah, it can. Or can it drop? Yeah, it can. It can do both. And the probability at the moment is that it's going to go down further. Especially if the price today, at the end of the day, closes lower. So the question is going to be how the price closes today. Whether it closes lower or not. We'll find out by the end of the day. And then the harmonic that I was kind of thinking about was something like this. me pull up the harmonics. Cypher. It'd have to be a Cypher, which is this one here. It's the only one in play. So there is a harmonic in play. You'd have to see a reaction, probably. From the golden pocket? No. Effectively, you're just taking out this low, coming back to this monthly level. That's effectively what you're doing for a reaction. You need to see a reaction. One-to-one would be Saturday evening. Let me do that differently. Somewhere in Saturday, somewhere at the weekend. Maybe even Sunday, yeah. Off that monthly level. Let me have a look at that monthly level. Coming back to that monthly level. That weekly candle is not going to look good, is it? So I mean, I think Bitcoin's in trouble at the moment. That's the honest truth. And there is like a little bullish harmonic here, but only if there's a reaction of this level here. And that's for a long, otherwise the shorts are entering, yeah, off that swing failure, effectively. Off that swing failure. That daily level, there's a daily level there as well. See a reaction of that swing failure, then there's a scalp to be had there, basically. And that's it. And effectively what you're looking for is that would fill, bam, maybe another down. And then you have to go up. And then the question is, you put in just another lower high and then another bounce and then psh, and we're actually going down. So this looks really bearish, and actually it probably won't go that high in that circumstance. If it starts to fall, you get one bounce, it'll probably do that, and then once you take out that low, it's going to look terrible. So a really shitty scalp there. And the reality is that until Bitcoin can break this trend line, it's stuck, isn't it? Ideally what you want is you want to see signs of strength, and signs of strength would be to reclaim levels, and in this context a reclaim would be that daily level here, because that would break the trend line, back test, and then you have actually a much safer long of a back test of a reclaim and a back test of a daily level, which is flipped from resistance into support. And effectively, what you need to see a sign of strength, higher prices. Then you have a chance to attack this outer trend line, but it gets really choppy. And so while people might be thinking let's long for the highs, the reality is that the price is going to move in a way to stop everyone out before it actually decides what it wants to do. Now, if it does go down, you get a really strong reaction. It all depends on the reaction. You could end up just putting a lower high and then flopping again. Because if people do long that swing failure, if you do get a reaction as a swing failure and people long it, they're going to take profit into the first resistance that they hit. And then that allows people who haven't shorted to short and to compound their shorts. And so I think Bitcoin, until we see a sign of strength, it's kind of tricky right now. We really need to recapture that daily level. So that's 93.5. Until we get above 93.5, it's going to start looking a little bit bearish. Let me have a look at the dominance chart. Yeah, dominance chart is dropping, isn't it? And then let me have a look at ETH BTC. It's going up, huh? Usually when Bitcoin's about to drop crazy, I mean, there's a flood of ETH back into BTC, and we're not seeing that just yet. We're not seeing that flood back into BTC. So I think people are still holding on to ETH, which kind of gives you the feeling that people are still, when I say people, I mean the bigger players are still expecting an up. But right now it's kind of looking shaky. Just hide those now. So I still think there's an up. Yeah, I still think there's an up in play. The question is how it gets there. It's obviously not going to be an easy up. And what I'm seeing here, obviously, is that the price is above that previous all-time high. I think if we lose that, then we're dropping, all right? So until we lose that in a meaningful way, then I think what we're actually experiencing is consolidation between there and there. That's the range, isn't it? You can clearly see it. So if I mark it out properly, it's like there to there to kind of there. Maybe there. And we're just coming back into this midpoint. And so we're in this kind of range, this horizontal range. We're in the lower part of the range because we're kind of struggling to get above this midpoint. And effectively, until we actually lose that pivot and fall down, then we're still kind of range bound in this kind of this this big range here, aren't we? That's kind of where we're at. And the problem is, whatever happened next, let's just say for the sake of argument, the price does go down now, fails to react and just goes down for another leg. That's probably going to be a really strong long off that swing failure there. Then you're probably looking for a break, maybe another break, and then the problem is possibly a lower high. Wherever we form a pivot down here, let's just say we do take out that low. That will become the target there would be the golden pocket. For shorts. And so what you end up with, if we do take out that pivot, you end up with potentially a really ugly head and shoulders pattern. Yeah, that's the danger. And when you get people longing, if the prices come back down to this pivot low 74.5, takes out that pivot low for longs, and that's probably, honestly, in this context, that's probably going to be either you have a reclaim of 93.5, which is that daily level, or we have a really strong long on a reaction from this swing failure here, which is effectively this overall range low. Then the target would be the golden pocket. And that's it. And actually, traders will be taking profit as the price goes up because they're not expecting all-time highs. And then the question then, but the thing is, by then, have you broken this external trend line, this outer trend line? If you have, that's the thing. If you do, if by then, whenever it happens, you do break this outer trend line, let's just say we have a strong reaction, bam, and you reject, at least you've broken the trend line. And then people get really bearish because they'll be looking at this head and shoulders pattern, so they'll start shorting, and then that's when you can come back into a golden pocket and go up, and everything changes then. And so really it's all about shorts and longs at key areas, and which side has the power or the liquidity to push through to the other side and stop the other side out. Effectively, it's a little kind of game, cat and mouse game. But I think, I mean, assuming that there's still an up in play, I think there is. Just because when I look at the volume, see pretty low volume across the board. Usually when you're going to kind of top out, there's quite a large increase in volume. There's quite a big injection in volume when that happens, when you top out, and we haven't really seen that. So I kind of think that we're probably just kind of feeling bearish. The whole market's feeling bearish, and there is a chance that we do bounce. And the question is, if we are still range bound, if we do just come to the bottom of the range here, bounce, price could easily go to the top of the range. If it goes to the top of the range, do people get bullish? Of course they do. They get bullish, they take it higher, stops get short, stopped out, shorts get stopped out, then we're heading for higher, and then everything changes again, and the whole market gets really bullish again. They get bullish at the highs. The market gets bearish at the lows, bullish at the highs. And actually what traders are trying to do is do the opposite. They're trying to get bullish at the lows, bearish at the highs. And so at the moment, it does look possible that we could go for lower. Unless we break these trend lines, yeah? Unless we find some real strength in the market, unless we start recapturing levels like 93.5k. I think it's quite an important level because it's a daily level. It's our first daily level above us. See that? Really, the price has to recapture that daily level. If it can't, then there's no longing. So you're looking for lower. even if there's a harmonic, it might not play out and the price could go much lower. So, I mean, it's always possible for the price to come down and bounce off this monthly level. So every level has the price has the possibility to bounce, you know, every level. And you just have to look for the reaction. That's what traders are looking for, the reaction. But in this context, maybe the monthly level, that would be a higher low here, and that would be a Cypher harmonic, or which I drew at the beginning. Or there's no reaction and the price is actually going for much lower. It'll be aiming for these lows here. Okay. And the problem then is you've lost a lot of levels, and it depends on how the price comes down. If it starts to come down really fast, then it becomes difficult to go back up. That's the other problem. So at the moment, the price is trying to come down. Probably fill that gap that I said, that those single prints. That's why the shorts have loaded up. They want to fill those gaps for a bounce off this gap. And then there'll be a bounce of the daily level. There'll be bounces off every liquidity zone. Bounce, and then maybe heading down to that monthly level. That's a wash level. So it doesn't necessarily have much liquidity. And then you could be heading down to take out that pivot low and into these much better levels, these lower levels. Okay. It's kind of Bitcoin at the moment. It's kind of what it looks like at the moment. I am inclined to think that there probably is an up before the end of the month. Depending on how the month finishes. Does it finish strong? And a strong finish would be if it went all the way down to take those lows. A strong finish, I think, for Bitcoin would be to just take the previous month low and close back above it. That would be a strong finish. Then the next month, January, beginning of the year, and then we have a chance to break up. Can Bitcoin get to all-time highs by the end of the month? At the moment, it's not looking like it. But everything can change, yeah? Like, that's the thing about the markets. Market can change really quickly, really fast, and so you just have to keep an eye on it to see what's going on. At the moment, it looks like we're rejecting. With the target being these lows here, this kind of massive SR flip. This one here, that's going to be like a swing long, potentially. The one I drew, which I deleted. That's probably the one, actually. So swing failure, reaction, and then you'll be looking for a rally all the way up to wherever the pivot's been put in, to the golden pocket. But, you know, traders take profit. They'll take profit at this midpoint, 91k, and then if it goes higher, they'll take profit at the golden pocket, and then that will be, you have to see what happens next. I'm going to have a look at one other thing. Just going to have a look at the whole volume. Let's just hide that. 74k long. Let's have a look at the volume across the whole bull market, so to speak. That doesn't look good, does it? Because it looks like we're falling back into the value area. Yeah. Where exactly is the value area? We're kind of at it right now. Trying to get above it. There's a little bit of a fake out. The price looks like it wants to get back in to the value area. And so even if the price bounces off 74k on a swing failure, the target would be 91 effectively. And if, depending on where the pivot is put in, who knows, because the price can always overshoot. When the price drops, it always likes to overshoot. You could end up with a really nice fib level on 91k, and then that level becomes even stronger as a resistance point if you have a little bit of confluence on a level that you're targeting. So we have to see signs of strength or reactions from the lows. Otherwise, right now, it just looks like a rejection. It looks like we're rejecting that pivot high. That's what it looks like. Swing failure of the previous week high. The price went down and went up, and now looks like it wants to go back down. That's kind of what it's looking like at the moment on Bitcoin. So, yep. And then when you look at the order flow, looking at the order flow, I'm gonna have to refresh it again. What you want to see is you want to see some bullish CVD, or you want to see trap shorts. And at the moment, we're not getting bullish CVD, and we're not getting trap shorts. You see that big short that came in? They're in profit at the moment. See that? They came in there, and the price is underneath their entry position. We're underneath the weekly open. So right now, this whole order flow is looking pretty bearish. It's not looking bullish at all. Some liquidations, but longs are being squeezed. That's effectively what's happening right now. All right, so that's the kind of Bitcoin update.